Hello everybody and welcome to the first vlog after my return from PAX, the PAX Roundup. It is the first time since I've sat in front of this computer in a week, like 7 days exactly, and it feels like it. I feel like I forgot how to do this, so my voice might sound a little bit raspy because there's a lot of yelling and talking involved over the past 6 days over in Seattle, but it was so much fun and I am so happy I went and I cannot wait to go back. But this is going to be just talking about my experiences, my favorite games that I saw, just general stuff, and a little bit of a channel thing just because there's some stuff I want to discuss about the channel as well. So first and foremost, I want to show you that I did indeed go to PAX. It is not a lie. There you go. Got a bunch of pins on it. PAX Media badge. We got some Polaris and Maker pins that I got because I went to I did a bunch of Polaris stuff while I was there. Twitch pin from the Twitch party that I went to, Kate Army pin from Kate, also known as Lovely Momo, and four-sided fantasy, I think it was called. I almost called it four-sided sanctuary. I'm not a huge pin guy, so if they like hand me a pin, I'll do it, but I don't go out of my way to get pins. This is more pins that I got at PAX East, and this was super fun, man. It was such a good time to go. I saw a lot of stuff. It was probably the most busy convention I've ever been to. And I haven't been to too many conventions, but I've been to a handful, and this one totally killed it, man. I came home yesterday, I had dinner with Carrie, and I remember just going right to bed, and I was, like, exhausted. So jet lag wasn't a problem because I went to bed super early, and I got up kind of late. I slept in, but that's fine because the past few days I've been not sleeping in. I've been getting up at, like, 7 a.m., getting coffee, and going right to the convention, like, right on. It was really awesome. Oh, so the other thing I wanted to show you real quick is I did talk about before a camera I was getting, and this is the camera. It is a TI2, a Canon TI2. It shoots in 1080p, 30 frames per second, so for now it'll just be 30 frames, but I mean, I got a nice deal on this because I got it from my friend Jake, Red Panda Gamer, as you may know him. This is going to be something I'm going to be looking into using more often with that thing back there. The green screen, man. The green screen. That's what I'm looking to use it for, and maybe do some new stuff as I talked about prior. I'm really excited to get to use on this thing. I hope it's going to be great. The pictures I've been able to take with it have been pretty cool so far too, though I didn't go wild in taking pictures because I didn't have a strap for it. That's something I'm going to look into grabbing on Amazon when I have the opportunity to. Other than that, let's talk games. So I did see a whole bunch of games at PAX. It was crazy the amount of games I saw, and 3 or 4 really stick out, and I'm going to separate them into AAA and indie games because I do look at them very differently. So AAA games, I saw a few. I didn't see a ton, but I did see enough. The ones I wanted to see, I saw. And I'm torn between 2 of them. 2 of them were my favorite there. One was Evolve, which I had a press meeting for. We played 3 games, me and a few other press people. And I'm not going to say anything, but I am going to say that I was really fucking good at that game. The 2 times I played on the soldier side, the hunter side, we won, and the 1 time that I played on the monster side, I won. The only time the monster won was when I played as the monster. That game, I walked away severely impressed. I had my doubts, and I still do, but for other varying reasons. I didn't think it was going to be as fun as it was, but it was a super good time. And there's a lot of variabilities and a lot of interchangeability between the classes and stuff that added a lot of variety. I mean, if you don't know what Evolve is by now, you can go teach yourself. But I will say, I walked away having a lot of fun in that game. My biggest concern with that game, and I think a lot of the people I talked about this game with share this concern, is that the hunter aspect, where you're playing as the 4 hunters against the monster, requires an incredible amount of teamwork. You have to be working as a team if you're going to take down this monster, because the minute you're away, you think Left 4 Dead, you kind of have to work as a team, otherwise you die. It's way more difficult. Like, you rely on each other way more than you do in Left 4 Dead, because Left 4 Dead, you're palette swaps, right? You're just the same character with different skins for the most part. They're incredibly different classes, and if for instance, your medic is gone and he's missing, and you encounter the monster while your medic is gone, you're just dead. There's nothing you can do. You need that that medic to survive. Or you come together and you fight the monster and maybe your tracker is missing, he's gone. The monster's going to have his way with you because the tracker is able to do things like shoot a harpoon into the monster to keep him on the ground or keep him slowed, or shoot a tranquilizer into the monster to keep him slowed and exhausted. Like, there's just a ton of stuff, and God forbid your assault is missing, which is most of your damage, or your sniper's missing, which is like most of your buffs. There's a lot of synergy involved with the hunter side of things. So not having one of them, or God forbid even more than one of them, it's going to kill it. So playing with randoms, I'm a little nervous. I don't know how it's going to go. But if you can reliably get your friends together for an Evolve game, bar none, this game is going to be one of the greatest co-op shooters out there. And that's just me having played a solid hour or so with it, with the press hour that I got, which was great. The other game that I got to play was Alien Isolation, and a lot of people were kind of upset with me that I said believe the hype on Twitter, and maybe I shouldn't have said believe the hype, but you have to understand too that Alien Isolation is being developed by a totally different company. A lot of people don't realize that both Colonial Marines was a Gearbox game and Isolation is Creative Assembly, two totally different development teams altogether. That also being said, the demo that the Colonial Marines ended up showing off was never in the game, while I have it on good faith and good word from people that I know within the industry that this is not a made for PAX kind of demo. Like, the ending is kind of made for PAX-ish, but the area you go through and stuff is all within the game itself and all that good stuff. And even the demo I played was actually super early, so all the graphical implementations hadn't been done for that demo, and they can say that the game is basically done at this point, and it's really exciting. The reason I walked away really impressed is because it kind of was the game I was looking for in Aliens Colonial Marines, which I never picked up. I will still advocate never pre-ordering a game and waiting till it comes out before you pick it up, especially if you're going to pick it up digitally. There is no reason for you to pre-order. It's really stupid if you pre-order. But if you are just excited for it, I would say remain excited, because what I played was absolutely phenomenal. It was about the alien hunting you, and I played with, when I went in, it was me, Nick, also known as Rockley Smile, and Jesse Cox. We all kind of went in at the same time, and we all, from my understanding, had very different experiences, because the alien is not the scripted event that happens. The alien is hunting you through the entire level, and his actions will change depending on what you're doing, and that was present actually within the demo. For instance, Nick actually played, and for the most part, he saw the alien. He was able to keep his eyes on the alien and knew where he was, and it was able to keep an eye on him the whole time, while me, during the same gameplay element, I had my motion tracker up and I could see him on the motion tracker, but he wasn't physically there. I had a very hard time finding the alien within the game, and he was around either in the ceiling or in the floorboards or wherever it was, and you could kind of every once in a while hear him moving around. But yeah, I was so tense. It was one of the most tense gaming experiences I've ever had, because that feeling of being hunted is super prevalent. It is right in your face, and you are being hunted. I mean, at one point, I saw the alien, and I needed to get past him, and he was kind of walking around looking for me, and I was trying to read his body language to see what he was doing, but I couldn't. And so I went into the locker and hid, and you could hear him coming down the hallway. Like, I could see him on the blip radar. He was getting closer and closer. I needed to get by him. So I got into the locker, and he walked by the locker, and I wasn't, like, there's an option to pin yourself up against the back of the wall and hold your breath, and I wasn't doing that when he walked by. So he stopped, and he slowly looked at the locker, and I was like, oh shit, and the developer's like, you should pin yourself up against it now. So I pinned myself up against the locker, and I held my breath, and he just put his face really close, and he started smelling, and for a second I thought he knew I was there, but luckily my character was still holding his breath. And the developer said when you're the final game, there'll be a meter to show how long you can hold your breath before you let it out. Luckily, fingers crossed, I did it well enough. Like, I held my breath at the good time. So he just kind of came up and started smelling, and then kind of like just looked away and just kept going. And like as he was walking away, my character was like, bah! Like, let the breath out, because I couldn't hold it anymore. And as he walked away, I went over and I did what I was supposed to do, and I really didn't see him too much up until the point where you press a button and the alien comes over because there's noise, and now I'm playing like cat and mouse with the alien, trying to keep away from him and keep out of his sight, but keep the door in my sights. It was just really, really a very tense gaming experience, and that's what I want. I want to feel afraid of the alien. I mean, in Aliens Colonial Marines, it was just like the aliens were coming and you were shooting them, and it was dumb. This one was just, it's all one alien. There's not multiple. There's only one. And it's just hunting you through the whole thing. And there are other enemies throughout the game that I didn't get to experience because it wasn't part of the demo. I'll be interested to see how they work. And of course, I still advocate don't pre-order and stuff. But if this demo is even remotely representative of the final game, and if they can keep that tension up through the whole thing, I really think they're going to have a really good Alien game on their hands. Keep your eyes out for it. So that's what I would say for AAA games was my standouts. Indie games, I played a lot of indie games. I played a whole bunch of indie games. A couple really stood out for me, though. Not a Hero by Devolver. Actually, two by Devolver really stuck out. Not a Hero, being published by Devolver, is really cool. The easiest way to describe it is kind of like a more stealth and strategic Broforce, in a way. Again, it's hard to explain until I really get my hands on it, and I will have a video for you when it comes out. And one that I loved, and this is easily my favorite indie game of the whole show, was Titan Souls. That game blew me out of the water. It's a weird mix of like old school, well, not old school, but like a pixel art, like mix of like Shadow of the Colossus, and I guess kind of like Dark Souls in that it's not actually like Dark. Well, it's kind of like Dark Souls in that it's you got to kind of figure out the enemy as a puzzle and dodge and roll and try and do some damage. And it's incredibly hard. The thing that makes it hard is you have one arrow and you can shoot the arrow, and then you can use magic to pull the arrow back. So if you miss the enemy, you have to, move around, try to get the arrow back to you. Most enemies go down in one hit, or some have like a couple of like 1 or 2 stages where you have to make the vulnerable point very vulnerable, and then you have to hit it. Each boss kind of plays out like a puzzle, from my understanding, and it's really, really, really engaging and very difficult, and it's beautiful to look at. And the audio design is fucking gorgeous too. The audio in that game was awesome. By the end of it, I was playing, I had like a group of people behind me watching, because not a lot of people actually got through the game, and I got through it. So they had like 4 or 5 people just watching from behind. It was really enticing. It's a really cool game, and if you had never heard of Titan Souls, I urge you to go check it out and do your research and see if it's something you would be interested in. Again, it'll be a game that I definitely do a video on once it is live. Other than that, other indie games I played a cool little game called Fight the Dragon. Fight the Dragon is an interesting mix between like a Diablo and a Little Big Planet. The Diablo part's kind of obvious in that you go through these little adventures. They are like 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes in length. You get experience, you get loot, you get better and better. The Little Big Planet part comes from the level design. A lot of it is going to be community-based level design. The community makes adventures for you to go on and fight monsters and go through and stuff like that. And as far as I know, I guess it's on early access now. There's already like, I think he said like over 100 community levels. Like majority of the levels are community levels so far. And the dragon part comes into this big boss. I guess this is big dragon that has like over 1 million HP. And every time you finish a challenge or finish an adventure, you get a ticket to go fight the dragon. And when you fight the dragon, it's all persistent damage. So after you fight the dragon, he ends up killing you inevitably the first few times. The damage you've already done sticks. So you're kind of doing these adventures, getting this loot, creating levels, and going to fight the dragon to beat him eventually and maybe get something cool from him. And that kind of going back and forth is interesting because it's got this like Rogue Legacy vibe as well. It's a really cool game. I actually have a spare code I'm going to be giving out eventually, probably on Twitter over the next couple of days. And I really liked it. That was a really fun game for me to play. What else did I play? There was a lot. Well, how could I forget? I spent 3 hours with The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. I'm not allowed to say anything about the game other than if I liked it or I hated it. And I fucking loved it. My appointment was supposed to be for 1 hour. I stuck through for 2 more appointments, me and everybody who was there. It was really good. So I'm really excited for that. That's all I can say. I'm not allowed to say anything that I saw about the game, and it was just awesome. I played the PS4, the PC, and the Vita version. I played those 3 versions. It was cool. I got to see co-op in action. It was a really, really good game. So there's that. I think that's it for like games that I saw that really stick out. If I think of anything else, like as I'm talking, I'll say something. But it was really good. I think my favorite part though was meeting people. I met some amazing developers and I met some really cool fans. I did tweet a picture of one of them that was just able to meet me, that was able to find me up at the 6th floor. You guys make this the reason I do it, and to even meet 1 or 2 of you while I was there was just super, super cool, and I'll never forget it, and I look forward to doing it again next year. the last thing I want to talk about before I wrap up this incredibly long vlog is my channel stuff. So right now the channel's kind of a mess, mainly because I have a lot of things going on at once. Elite Dangerous is going to be wrapping up after another video or so because I think I showed off most of what I want to show off. The Escapist is doing surprisingly well. Like, people love it, so I'm going to keep that around. 7 Days to Die is going to be coming back today. I believe a video is actually done uploading. It should be going live in about an hour from the recording of this, not from this going live. It might actually already be up by the time this video ends up going up. My screen went black. There we go. Weird. So that's going to be coming back. Zomboid's going to be coming back normally. I am going to be bringing out a Sims 4 series, if only just to show people what the game is about, because a lot of people are bitching about the lack of stuff that is in Sims 4, but I've seen very little about the gameplay of Sims 4. I mean, a lot of the big problem with Sim City was that not only was it going to be a smaller city, but the game was very broken. Very, very broken in a lot of ways. I mean, they talked about all these features that weren't in the game at launch, like the ability to not be online, for one, was really silly. Sims in SimCity didn't live in their own house, even though they said they would. They would just go sleep at random houses, whatever was closer. Traffic AI was just a mess. Like, SimCity was a very broken experience. Nobody's saying anything about the gameplay of Sims 4. A lot of the gripe I'm hearing is it doesn't have as many items. So if that's the only complaint that people have, I can see myself actually having a really good time with the game, because I never got into The Sims 3 all that much. I did play The Sims 2 a lot, and The Sims 4 I think is going to be really fun. Even if it's less of an experience than what Sims 3 is, we'll see. I mean, The Sims, the way I always looked at The Sims is it's very much like Train Simulator, right? There's a bajillion DLCs for it, but they're not required. You kind of just pick and choose what interests you. If you want this like particular thing, you grab that DLC. If you want that particular thing, you grab that DLC. It's not about grabbing every single solitary DLC out there. It's more about picking what you like. It's collecting the things that you want. So we'll see. We'll see how it is. We'll definitely have a series of that back on there. Darkwood, I need to start bringing back at some point. I did kind of pause that just for a little bit because I was kind of burning myself out on it a little bit, and I wasn't making progress. And after the gas mask fiasco, I really kind of got detached from the game because I was like, I don't want to go through all that crap again, and I don't want to make any more trades. I know the next big beta for it will fix a lot of the problems that are in it right now, and a lot of the shopkeeper stuff will be fixed and so on. But I did feel like I did show off a good chunk of Darkwood, and I hope you guys are excited for it. And I do need to get back into the forest because the forest has changed, from my understanding, pretty dramatically from the last time I played it. There's been 4 major alpha additions to the game, which include better AI, better graphics, I think is one of them, like a polish, spit and shine. New tribe AI, new tribes in the game itself. Swimming has been implemented and not broken. Sharks and all kinds of stuff. So there's just stuff I need to go back and check out. So my channel might not seem very focused for a while. I think it'll be a lot of series running at the same time. Only a few of them will end up being daily, while other ones will kind of come and go as I have videos recorded for them. I think that's fine because, again, I kind of run my channel like a television channel where there's lots of stuff going on all at once, and you come for what you're interested in. I don't expect you all to watch everything. So if there's like something in there that I said that you're like, ew, gross, I don't want to watch that, there's about 10 billion other series you can watch. So the more series I add, I think, is the more variety and the more people that it can come and watch is what I'm excited for. But that's it. I'm going to wrap this up. I've been going for almost 20 minutes now. I had such a good time at PAX. I'm really excited getting back into recording. I feel a little bit rusty, but this was a good warm-up. I hope you guys are excited for the coming days as we kind of get back into the swing of things. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next time. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.